I've been doing some research on how to find these attachments. You know the ones I'm talking about. The ones that have some pretty cool stats, but you can't craft them. The Kinetic Converter, the Horizontal Grip, the Silencer 3, and the Anvil Splitter. Right now, there's no way to craft them, and there may never be a way to craft them. These might be the rarest items in Arc Raiders, and it might stay that way. That means you're probably going to want to build up a nice supply of them before you feel comfortable enough to go out and put them on your weapons and use them against Arc or other players. So, what is the best ways to get your hands on these? Are there specific loot routes or locations? Well, yes. Actually, there are some pretty good spots on most maps that are going to have a higher chance of dropping these. Now, this is more of a work in progress video. I'm still learning, we're still working things out, and I've been streaming the last couple of days, asking questions from my community as well, and my chat on live stream about where they found these, so we can try and pinpoint exactly what's going on. So let's talk about what we know so far. We're going to start with buried. Where are the map conditions? It's kind of weird. What's going on here? Where are the map conditions? Right. Where's the best places? Let's talk about this. So, there are certainly some locations that have a higher drop rate than usual, but it does seem like there might be a chance for you to get them in most containers that can spawn attachments. So, if you loot a container and it has an attachment in, there might be a chance that it could also have a kinetic converter. However, we're still testing that theory. We really need to give it a bit more of a try. It might be that only certain containers can actually drop the kinetic converter. So there's a lot of experience, a lot of testing to go through here. But for now, we can confidently say that a number of buildings do have a very consistent chance of getting these. Firstly, the Arbusto Tower, the breachable pharmacy Arbusto over here, right? The breachable room here. Go in there. There's a few residential containers in here. Yes, you're going to have a higher chance for the Anvil Splitter, Kinetic Converter, Horizontal, and Silencer 3 here. If you come away down here now, the next one is Plaza Rosa. I think we all know these locations, and I'll talk about the other spots people might not know in just a little bit. But yeah, those are the two most popular, and for good reason. A lot of residential containers in here, which means a higher chance per raid that you will get one of these attachments. There's one more spot on Buried City that seems to get you some pretty good results. It's this building here. So you take the zip line and then jump off to the ledge on the left, and there's a very small number of residential containers, and a lot of people have had good reports there of getting the attachments. If there are any other places on this map that you've had luck getting these attachments, do let me know in the comments. We'll move on to the other maps just in a second, but a quick note. Whilst this is a breach room here on Main Street, I've never found them there, and I don't think anyone in my community has either. Plaza Rosa is a breach room, and so is Arbusto Tower. So breach rooms definitely give us a feel for like what the devs are thinking in terms of where they place these containers that can have these attachments. For example, if we go to Spaceport now, we can take a look at which rooms can have it here. This breach room in container storage can have the attachments as well, and we've been hearing a lot of people in my chat getting them frequently here. This is one of the best spots on Spaceport. In fact, this room here is better than the key room, funnily enough. Another spot that people are getting it is launch towers. Now, I've personally only had luck on the south launch tower, so this side here, that's where I've managed to get it. There's quite a lot of containers on this side, so it makes sense. Probably can get it on the other side as well, but there are more containers on the south side. So if you have to rush for one, I would recommend going for the south side first. Another spot that works, funnily enough, is the south trench tower and north trench tower, but not the actual key rooms. If you get a zip line or a snap hook and get on top of the roof and go down into the stairs, there's a few lockers there, which do also have the chance to drop these high-level attachments. Now, you're seeing some footage in the background of Spaceport. I didn't get lucky myself. It's important to note you're not going to get it all the time, right? These are still lucky drops. It's not going to happen very often, but if you do a bunch of raids, you'll start stacking up these attachments over time. So South Trench Tower and North Trench Tower, but not in the key rooms. I also had some reports of people getting the attachments in the shipping warehouse key room, though, so keep that in mind. Now, we move on to Damn Battlegrounds, which I think is the most interesting map here. They've added some new containers in the control tower recently, and guess what? They have a chance of dropping the attachments. I got one today, so that was quite exciting to see, but it's not the only place. In fact, just like on Spaceport, where there are containers outside of the key room, which have the attachments, the same could be said for Control Tower. The attachments spawn in the outside area, which can be reached by going to the very top of control tower and jumping down the ladder. Those can have the attachments as well, which is interesting. And funnily enough, Control Tower on Day Raid has 2 level 3 weapon spawns. Now, sometimes they can spawn on the outside of the key room, so you can come up onto this ledge without the key and potentially walk away with 1 or maybe even 2 level 3 weapons. Most of the time they spawn inside of the room, though. Keep that in mind. So, really, really nice loot spot there. Another spot that is on this map is actually in the damn staff room key. So it's another key room that can drop them. I tried it in Day Raids. I didn't really like the results personally. You're not getting the level 3 weapons you usually do, so I'd recommend that on a night raid. Now, if you're looking for places on Dam that don't have key rooms, the Hydroponic Dome Complex is a good one. I'd recommend this one here on the west side. This one has a lot of breachable containers in here. That seems to be a good spot to get the attachments as well. Now, moving on, some people have had some reports of getting it in water towers as well. There's a few boxes here and there, so there's a potential spawn there as well. And also the testing annex red lockers. So they seem to be some of the spots on the dam. Now, these are where we're getting a lot of reports. They could spawn elsewhere. For example, the apartments, right? There are attachments that can spawn in the apartments. If you've gotten any kinetic converters in the apartments, do let me know in the comments. I really would like to kind of research this a little bit more. We've kind of got a bit of a theory going on. We're wondering if there's a certain number of kinetic converters that could spawn per match. Or for example, there are a certain amount of high-level attachments that can spawn. And we're trying to get to the bottom of it. But if you find any containers on this map that have a blue tier attachment or higher, leave what container it was and the location in the comments. We want to try and test this out. Okay, moving on to Stella montis. Now, I don't have any footage of this one, unfortunately, because I haven't had the chance to test it myself. But some people are saying that they've got experience finding it in the recycling cans around medical research and sandbox. So if you have had experience getting it in the recycling trash cans in medical research and sandbox, please do let me know. And also loading bay, the shipping containers, we need some more research there. So if you've had any experience finding these attachments in Stella montis, please do let me know as well. Next, let's talk about day raids versus night raids versus storms or any other Twix conditions. I personally don't know if night raids or storms have a higher drop rate for these things. It would make sense that there is, but it will be extremely difficult to test. And I haven't seen any visual proof that night raids or electro storms do have a higher drop rate. It's just something that's going to be really hard. You'd have to go and loot the same exact container like 1,000 times across both day, night, and storm to figure it out. So maybe we could do a community run experiment to figure it out. I don't know. Crowdsourcing the data would definitely make it a lot easier. But from my experience, you can get them on day rates and fairly commonly. So don't be afraid to do this on day rates. In fact, all of these were found on day rates. So, you know, it's not like you can't find them. Maybe there's a higher chance of night raids, but it's something that's very hard to test without a lot of people working together. So if you'd like to see that, maybe we can arrange something. Share your experience with finding these attachments in the comments. My best suggestion, honestly, is Buried City. I think it's really great. If you get a spawn close by to one of the pharmacy buildings, you're going to have a good time. Down battlegrounds, I also quite like for Hydro Dome and just the sort of control tower area. Blue Gate, we don't really know the spawns on Blue Gate. There might be some in here, for example, the breachable room in the maintenance wing. We're testing that. There might even be some spots in Ruined Homestead. We're testing that as well. So if you have any experience with Blue Gate, do let us know. This is a work in progress. So this is what we know so far. And yes, of course, your boy Scrappy can get you kinetic converters, horizontal grips, silencer 3s, and anvil splitters. It's a very low chance. We don't know the drop rate yet, but, you know, a chance. I got one. You're going to want to do the agave. I haven't seen any proof that it comes from an apricot or fruit mix. I've only seen it from agave. I think this is the best bet. Now, let's also talk about the rarity differences. You might already kind of get a feeling for what's common and what's rare. You don't see any silencer 3s. I had one, and I lost it. The kinetic converter, horizontal grips, and anvil splitters are the most common. I see these very commonly. The silencer 3 is just really rare for some reason. I don't have many anvil splitters because I usually just drop them for people, because since the Rocketeer nerf, where they don't take damage when they hit the ground, I don't really see the use for this, so I just give it to people. But yeah, these drop fairly the same, and the silencer 3 is the rarest. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you've got any of your own feedback, please leave it in the comments. I'd love to read through. And hopefully this has been useful. I'll see you all in the comments. Cheerio.